Good morning, it's Sarah, and welcome to our live video chat. Now, just in case you're not sure, or you've never watched one of our live video chats before, every Tuesday we try to have a live video chat, answer some questions and show some new patterns or designs, and just answer some of the questions that I've gotten through the months, and also maybe some that are just recently. And so every Tuesday, like I said, we do a live video chat, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And it's Mountain Time because I'm in Colorado. So you're going to need to check where you're at in order to get here at the right time. Because, of course, the times are different in every other state. Good morning. I see some of you are clinking in. Clink. And you'll notice I have my Olaf Snowman cup today. Sunday it was 65 degrees and yesterday it was 70, and I got up this morning and it's 27 degrees and snowing. Now come on, this is April. I am so ready for warm weather. And it's really kind of funny because our topic today is, as the weather's turning warmer, what in the world can I crochet without sweating to death, right? And I'm over here under a blanket because I'm freezing, right? Anywho, the snow is beautiful and I love it. And so that's our topic today is, of course, like I just said, we're going to talk about what we can crochet and what kinds of yarns are great for warm weather. And then I also got a question last week. Our last live video chat, I showed you how to make a simple crochet rose. And then I talked about how to attach it, but I didn't show. And so I had someone ask me if I could show how to attach it to a finished project, and I'm going to take a couple of minutes in a little bit and show you that as well, because sometimes, you know, I forget. I've been doing this for years and years and years and years and years and I forget that some of those simple things, you know, and I say simple and I don't mean that to be rude in any way. It's just I've been doing it for years and years and I forget that some of those things that some of you haven't tried yet. And so I want to make sure that you understand that. And I thank you for the questions. I always read through all of the comment questions here on Facebook as well as on YouTube and other places. If you're wanting to ask me a question and you can't figure out where to put it, you can always put it in the comments here on our Facebook chat. You can also put it in the comments on YouTube. You can go to Ravelry if it's on a specific oh, thank you. Yes, this is one of the headbands we're going to talk about today. But you can also go to Ravelry if it's on a specific pattern there. You can comment there. And you can also email me at sach@poshpoochdesigns.com. And if you don't know, on the Facebook page, that email is listed as well as underneath the comments on YouTube. So if you have a question, feel free to answer it. And if you have a question, feel free to ask it. And if you can answer it, that'd be great too. How silly. But anyway, I will always try to find the answer. Even if I don't know the answer, I do my best to try to find you one. Alrighty. All right, so first thing I want to talk to you about is, if you've been over on our YouTube page, you'll notice that we're a few hundred away from reaching our 20,000 subscribers. And when we get to that number, the 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway. And I got a couple of these that I'm going to give away. You ready? Woo! I've got two of these that I'm going to give away. And what it is it's 10 skeins of cotton yarn. And I think it's great because we're getting ready to go into summer. And so we're going to be using a lot more cotton yarns. And this is in a pack. It comes with those 10 cotton yarns. And then it also has 10 downloadable exclusive patterns from Premier Yarns. Now, what we'll do is, once I reach that 20,000 mark, we'll have a celebration day. And I'm going to have more giveaways than this. This is just a sneak peek to get your, you know, thinking about it. And also, make sure you tell your friends that love to crochet to come subscribe to my YouTube channel. The more we get in there, the quicker the giveaways will be. It's a fun little bag too, by the way. It's in a little zipper pouch. Oh, there's the zipper up there. And a handle. So after you've used this, you can use this for a project bag. I'm going to set that down over there. Okay, so let's do our first question. What in the world can I crochet now that the weather's getting warm? Well, I know a lot of you're like me. You don't want to sit down to crochet a large blanket and start sweating, right? And so I've got some ideas for you. During the summer, actually, I'm going to tell you a secret. I don't want you to tell anyone. Okay, listen real close. You ready? Anything that's made out of acrylic yarn can also be made out of cotton yarn. Now that's a secret, don't tell anyone. The truth of the matter is, anything that you see online or anywhere where there's a written pattern and it's written with acrylic worsted weight number 4 yarn, you can make it with cotton yarn. Just keep in mind that cotton yarn doesn't have any stretch on its own. But I have an example here. Here's a headband, and it's just like the one that I'm wearing. It's one that I have online. It's just the basic slanted headband. It's made out of cotton yarn. Well, cotton yarn doesn't stretch, right? But look at this. So what happens is when you crochet with cotton yarn, the stitches cause it to stretch. And I've had lots of people ask me, I can't make a hat out of cotton yarn. It won't have any stretch. But it actually does. The one that I'm wearing on my head is just one that has a sparkle in it. It's like a rose colored. And I bought it from Bernat probably 8 years ago. I've had it a long time. So, and it was in their Christmas. I think it was called Gumdrop Jewel. I think is what it's called. Sparkle Gumdrop Jewel. I don't know if they make it anymore, but I just wanted to show you. And also because we're going to talk about the rose, how to attach the rose. So I wanted to wear that. But anyway, you can make a scarf for, say, evenings in the summer. If you live up here in Colorado, sometimes the evenings can be cool. You can make a cotton hat, sun hat. You can make fingerless gloves. You can make headbands, scarves, like I said. And of course, you can always make grocery bags and purses. And like I said, anything at all that's made out of acrylic number 4 worsted weight yarn, you can substitute your basic cotton yarns. Now, one thing to remember is to look on that packaging and make sure you're using the same weight of yarn, whether it's cotton or acrylic. The only thing that I really recommend that you not make out of cotton yarn, unless you intentionally want a cotton blanket, is a blanket. I've tried doing them with cotton, and you end up with this really heavy blanket. And so I don't really recommend that unless you can get, like, there is one called Symphonia that is a beautiful cotton yarn. And also the I Love This cotton from Hobby Lobby is a really soft yarn that isn't as weighty as some of the other ones. And they're both worsted weight number 4 yarns. Now she asked about sport weight yarns. Remember, sport weight is a number 3 and worsted weight is a number 4. So sport weight's a little bit thinner. So you're going to have to, you can do that, but make sure you understand that if you go down to a 3, your item's going to be smaller and you're going to need to use a smaller hook. I don't always use the hook that's on the packaging, but when in doubt, check that packaging, because on the outside, I should have grabbed one. On the outside, there's a little box and it'll say 3, 4, or whatever the weight is. And then there'll be 2 other little boxes. One will give you the recommended knitting needles and a swatch size. And then the other one will give you the recommended crochet hook and a swatch size. And in a couple of weeks, we're going to do a little bit of talking about gauge and swatches. And we're going to do a swatch together. And we're going to do that probably 3-4 weeks from now. We'll be discussing more about gauges and swatches at that time. So anyway, I just want you to understand that don't stop crocheting because the weather gets warm. You can always stock up on washcloths and scrubbies and all kinds of things like that. And I don't know about you, but when someone comes to visit me, I like to give them some washcloths that they can use, and then they can take them home with them. And I like them to be cute and fun and kind of fit their personality. You can do that. Or if you travel and you're going to stay with someone, you can make some washcloths on your way, tie them with a piece of the yarn, leave them as a gift, and then you've made something to keep yourself busy. Because I don't know about you, but I have to always have my hands moving. even when I'm watching TV. Or actually, I really prefer the quiet when I'm crocheting outside. You know, I sit outside on my deck. But anyway, I like to keep my hands moving at the doctor's office, anywhere I'm waiting. And it's always nice to make something and then just give it away. I've been known to go to the doctor's office and make a couple washcloths while I'm waiting and then hand them out in the reception area, or give them to the receptionist or the doctor, you know, just to say, hey, thanks for, you know, your time. And even if you've had to wait a while, it kind of makes you feel better. You know, you're annoyed you've had to wait, but if I can give you something that, you know, made me feel better and it made you feel better. So anywho, as I say, it's still fun to crochet through the summer. Another thing that you can do is go ahead and pull out those Christmas yarns and start stocking up on your Christmas gifts. You know, if you're going to make cowls for all your friends, you know, you can make them during the summer, and then they're all ready come Christmas, and you're not freaking out right before Christmas comes because you don't have everything done. So anyway, those are some things that I wanted to bring up. Let's do a real quick clink in. I see lots of you. I'm so glad to see you all here. Clink. And like I said, I've got my Olaf cup because it's snowing again. It's 27 degrees this morning. And so the high today is supposed to be, I think they said 37. And then it's going to warm back up into the 60s tomorrow. So anyway, let's go to our demonstration. I'm going to pop the cam down and move over here. Now, I had a question. Last week we did the rows together. And I had a question about how to attach them to an already item that you've made. And so I've got two here. 2 roses, and I've got 2 headbands. Now you can attach them to anything that you want to. I'm just going to show you on headbands because they're just really easy. These are both cotton headbands, and these are acrylic roses. And so what I do, especially if I have a solid one and I want to switch the roses out, I'll take one like this. And I mentioned these safety pins last week. And these safety pins don't have that extra little curl in the end. And I buy these. You can get them anywhere where they sell beads. These are made to put the beads on, and then you hook them together. And you can make bracelets and necklaces and things. And they're not over in fabrics. They're over by where the beads are, because they have that. They don't have that extra little loop in the bottom. And I like that because then the yarn doesn't get caught in that. And so what I do, if I'm just going to pin it on, because I might want to wash this, but I don't want to wash the rose, okay? So what I'll do is I'll put the rose where I would like to have it, and I'll take the pin and I'll go in twice. I'll go in, and then I'll go in again. And what this does is it keeps the rose from just being on one side. You've clipped both sides, and so it's going to stay put. And also, because it doesn't have that little curl, it might slide. And so you just go in, come back out, go back in, and then snap your pin. And this one, I have never had any trouble with it bothering my head. But I also do that, like the sweater that I'm wearing, I used a pinned rose as well. If you have a basic white or black cardigan and you want to switch out all the roses, this is a great way to do it. Now I can take the rose off. And I might have worn this outside and I sweated in a little bit. And so now I just want to wash the headband. I'll take the rose off and wash the headband. But let's say I want to sew that rose on. So here's one that I have. I've left the strings on. And I take the longer one and I thread it on my needle. And so I'm going to put it on this white portion so you can see the stitches. I'm just going to push that one inside because I'm only going to use the long one. All right, so I'm going to put my needle through and go to the back. I'm going to turn this over, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and out and capture those edges of that rose, because you don't have to put a ton of stitches, and it also gives you the opportunity, if you want to take it off and maybe change your rose out. Say you put a blue one on and you decided you'd rather have a yellow, you know, on that particular headband. And all I'm doing is going around the outer stitches, or the outer petals, I should say, of the rose. There we go. I'm back around where I started, and I'm just going to weave that in and out, just like that. And then I'll just clip that off. But now, if I want to wash my headband, that rose is going to get washed too. unless I want to take the time to clip off those. Now I make great big stitches because I do want to still have the opportunity to take it off if I want to. So that's two ways you can attach your rows. You can use a pin like these that I showed you without the loop on the bottom, or you can just stitch that on. So I hope that answered your question. Like I said, I tried to read through those comments and try to get the questions answered, because I know when I was first crocheting, I had to learn everything out of a book. And that wasn't bad. I loved to read. I was always a bookworm. I spent many hours at the library. My grandmother spent some time being a librarian. She's from Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Her name's Frances Taft. Yes, we're related to the Tafts. So anyway, she was a librarian, and when I was about 5, I lived with her for a while, and she put the love of reading in me. And so as I grew up and we moved to Oklahoma, I just lived at the library, and that's how I learned to crochet. And I've often said I wish I had that old book that I learned from. All right, so let's talk about what's new this week at Posh Pooch Designs. And this is something that just is so much fun. It's a great big fish. I just love it. And it's made actually from the exact same pattern as our little fishy washcloths. And all I did is I used the blanket yarn, and those are both patterns that are on the blog, and of course this one's on YouTube. And this one is made with acrylic yarn. These are made with the Red Heart Smoothie Cotton. Scrubby Smoothie or Smoothie Scrubby. I always say them backwards. Anyway, so that's new on the video and also on the blog. There's the written pattern and the video, so you can do both. And then the other thing we did this week was my silly sock monkey. You can make him in the 6-inch, or you can make it in the 12-inch. This one's for a friend, and this is one I've had forever. I wrote the pattern about 6 or 7, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, and it was a paid pattern. And someone had asked me about it, and so I thought, you know what, I'll just go ahead and move it over to the free patterns and make a video just because they're fun. And I love sock monkeys, and this one lady's like, I'm giving you a thumbs down because sock monkeys creep me out. And I was like, aw. Don't worry about a thumbs down. I don't care. YouTube doesn't differentiate between a thumbs up or a thumb down. They just see it as interaction. So it's okay. And I love sock monkeys. They make me giggle, and they're fun. And my dogs love this one. This one's been much loved by my puppies because they like to drag it around and lay on it. They don't chew on it or play with it. They think it's a pillow. And it is just their size for a pillow. All right, let me set those down. The last thing that we did yesterday, now those of you who've been following along our crochet along, each month we're doing a stitch and adding it to a blanket. And this is what we've gotten so far. Now, we've done the granny squares, we did V-stitches, we did some cross stitches. My finger's not on there. There we go. And then yesterday we did the bobble stitches. And so what we're doing is you can do as many rows as you want. Like this one I did 4. My V-stitches I did 3. The cross stitches I did 2. And then this is actually 4 stitches because we do a half double crochet a row with the bobbles, a half double crochet in a row with the bobbles. Now this is called our Harmony Sample or Sampler, either one is fine, blanket. And so what we're doing is each month I'm giving you a stitch that we can learn together. I make there is a blog post on it, and then there's also videos, and it's just a lot of fun. You can learn new stitches. You can make it as wide as you want, or you can make it as long as you want, repeating the stitches as many times as you want to. And so by doing it this way, you are creating something individual, something unique for you. And it's a great way to use up all those leftover scraps. And mine, I'm doing it all in solids. You don't have to. It's all worsted weight number 4 yarns, all your leftovers. You don't even have to complete the row in one color. You can do it as many colors as you want. Sometimes what I like to do is as I roll it up and on my winder, I just add in the new colors, and then I just go with whatever comes. And you get the most beautiful scrap blankets like that. So anyway, that's what was happening this week at Posh Pooch Designs. Lots of patterns and lots of new videos. So let's go over to the YouTube channel subscribe, and tell your friends, because when we get to that 20,000 subscribers, we are going to have us a celebration. So yesterday I was at Michael's, and there's a sweet little girl in there. She's a little girl. She's my age, but she's a little tiny Filipino girl. We've just made such great friends. I talk to her all the time. She calls me the crochet lady or the yarn lady. And I was in there picking up those prizes because they're on sale and I wanted to get them. And then she started telling me some, usually she is bubbly and happy. And she started telling me, something that was going on. And we discovered that she's from Oklahoma, just like me. Originally, and so she said that someone had said to her, and this is what I'm going to tell you what she said. It said, kindness is contagious, spread it. I thought that was neat because she was having a hard time. She's having a rough day, and I'm in there probably once a week, and we always chat about yarn and things, and I really think that's cool. Kindness is contagious, spread it. And then she laughed, and I thought, sometimes just being kind to someone can really brighten up their day. So anyway, do it. So I'm gonna let you go. I want you to crochet something out of cotton this week, and then tell your friends about our YouTube crochet channel. See you next week.